All right, coming in live, people. Everybody pile in, man. Let's go. All right, Joe Christensen with Aqueducts Consulting. Got to change our caption here. We just did finance reports last week. It's almost last year. Supply chain reports. SCM data model and reports. We are answering the core question today. What happens when I don't have my supply chain data? What happens to the company? What can I do about it? As the core question. Why do you need supply chain reports? What happens if you don't get them? I am Joe Christensen with Aqueducts. I do this. We have this product called Conduit BI. You can check it out, conduitbi.com. So exciting. I just coming off of Summit in October. There's a big old conference this week called Convergence that they're bringing back in Miami. Lots of stuff coming up in the spring. But we're ending the year strong, looking at all of our suite of products and offerings for D365 F&O reporting. That's why you're here. Okay, so to dive in, answering the question, what happens if I don't have my supply chain reports? What happens to my company? What happens to me if you can't get them across? And why do you have them in the first place? It is the core question we're asking. What is reporting? What is supply chain reporting? What happens when I don't have it? So supply chain reporting, as I understand it, and as I propose to you today, these are the reports that operations is going to need for your physical world, your operations world. Rolling trucks out on site, warehouse movement, packing slips outbound, product receipts inbound, all the work in between, moving physical products around, performing service for customers. That's the world. That's all ops. Purchase, sales, production control, project module, inventory, warehouse. So why do you need reports on all of these? Traditionally, you're going to need reports on all of these to make decisions. More runway level, you need reports on all of these things because you're literally answering one question, and that is what happened? What happened? How many did we ship? How many did we receive? Are we going to run out of our items? How many do we need to meet customer demand if you're doing production control? How many people do we need to meet demand on the people who are demanded or needed for our customers? That's supply chain reporting. It's a supply chain. It's the whole chain of supply. It's an obvious point, but it's everything feeding your operations, be it people, items, services. If you're third-party services, like contracted services, to perform them on your behalf and then get them out to your customers or to your production line, and then finally out to your customers. So all of this supply chain reporting. And we're just asking, what happened? The whole call today is about what happened. It's about the plumbing that's in place to determine what happened in your supply chain. And if you don't have it, right? Nothing else can happen if you don't have it. Life is hard enough. If you do have it on tap everywhere, you still have to get to options on what your company's going to do, choose from the options, and then execute on what you chose. And execute, carry it all out, and then you have to measure it again. Did it work? The people who have better plans, generally speaking, get the most use out of reporting. Because if they have very good tactical plans, strategic plans, they have a good strategy and then good tactics to get there, then they need reporting to tell them, where am I according to plan? But if you don't have the plan, then this is especially bad, because in order to develop the plan, in many cases, you need the data back from your operations. That's why we're here. That's why you need this component, supply chain reports for D365 F&O. We're going to run through what these things do, what we're offering as part of our data model and reporting set. I'll show you some examples of all this. We're going to show you some examples of what you can buy to go and solve your problems and your deficiencies there in reporting, how quickly you can solve them. And then we'll show you Conduit BI as part of a larger package, the supply chain rather, as part of a larger package in Conduit BI that covers finance and tech setup and everything. So a few assumptions or presumptions that we're going to make. I'll just share screen here. And I am monitoring comments. If you do have comments, you can go ahead and send them. You can also direct message me because sometimes you don't want to decloak and see what's going on there. You don't want other people rather to see what's going on in your world. So I'm going to head out to conduitbi.com really quickly here. Just go to pricing, show you what we're talking about. I'm assuming with supply chain data set that your tech footprint is in place. That's an assumption. If so, then great, we can use it. Synapse Link, Fabric Link, something like that. If it's not one of those two, it is highly likely that your tech footprint needs to be updated. We can't really do much without the Synapse Link and Fabric Link. And I know what kind of reaction that's going to cause internally if I make that claim. Some people will tell me outright that they have something else and it's working for them. I'm telling you that it's very likely that if you don't have Synapse Link in place or Fabric Link, then you're going to run into issues soon, the near term, this year, 2026. It's highly likely that you'll run into something because those two, Synapse Link and Fabric Link, are designed to get the data out. Cool. I'm also assuming that you do not need a finance data set, that's not a need for you. You already have it figured out, etc. If you need any one of these, this is priced individually, $6K for tech setup, $8K for finance, okay? And right now we're just talking about supply chain, which includes production, manufacturing, and project module. And then also part of our full Conduit BI thing, we do a report factory workshop on how to never run out of reports, specifically for F&O. $8,000 once. I think we're running a special on this at $3,500 until end of year. Just FYI for people who are considering that. And then next steps with Joe C. That's next phase planning, and it's your best backlog you've ever developed. Exactly the reports you need, and the prioritizing, set in the order that you're going to do them. Cool. So we're going to talk about supply chain and cover off exactly what we'll need to see in order to get things done for reporting in 2026. All right, jumping in. Let's just say that you have some procurement that needs to get handled right out of the gate. If I hit edit here. So again, just an example. Oh, it's the pencil. I forgot. So we have a data model over here to the right. This is an example data model. You're going to get a more fully built out one. But this one is just covering purge line, purge table from purchase orders, and some surrounding data. All right, super, super stripped down basics. Like in this example I'm showing you, the data model that you get is going to be more built out. You'll get all of those tables or data sets that are on tap. So if you drill down to any one of these, you're going to be able to click on the fields that you ought to be working against. And we've modeled here on the report how you ought to be working against them. Namely, if you have top 5 vendors by line amount, that's helpful to know that line amount would be the field that you're reporting on, or quantity ordered, or purchase price, etc. So any of these are just right on tap. With filters, common filters people are going to use. What we really just tried to do is put together like a picture of what everybody's going to be requesting along the way, in addition to whatever is for you. Sub account is usually not used as a financial dimension. It was used as one here. Location has more to do with financial dimension. Function, those are all custom financial dimensions. So when we implement the supply chain thing for reporting, or for procurement reporting, wow, you get everything right out of the box, and you can start doing reports as soon as it's set up. Takes us not very long to set up, but it's, probably you'd want to budget on 3 weeks to absorb everything that we're going to throw at you, because it's a lot all at once. All the data models, all the sample reports, and then we sit with you and say, all right, what would you like to do with that next? And we can talk about custom reporting and etc. If you just need the data set and you've got it from there, that's why we designed this that way, so that you can just take it from there. All right, we're doing an AQC report templates old, so we have some templates in here, and then we're building out a new workspace that covers latest. I'll just give you a peek at the latest. I'm evidently on a Fabric trial. I actually have a Power BI license attached here. I just need to get out of this trial thing for Fabric. For anybody who sees Power BI or Fabric trial up there, that might be a license discussion internally with your team. So customer transactions, vendor transactions, some of this is going to be more about invoicing and AR and AP on the other side. So I just want to back out of this. So you have this kind of thing in the finance data sets. We're bringing those over first. Bhavana is, our good dear old friend Bhavana is giving us some advice on how to change those all over. OTCO report. This is a good one. It's a good picture of what can happen here. On time complete. This is just a picture of how many orders we're shipping complete. And the assumption here is we're supposed to be shipping them complete. If you are in the shipping business, the outbound shipping and sales, on time complete is an industry metric that says how many of these orders that people sent in were delivered out complete, or how many were delivered out partial. And then we made up for it later because we had to receive in the stock before shipping it to you. So it's just a metric to say how much, it's mainly measuring how much of the stock do we have in stock, how much inventory do we have available so that we deliver it on time. Well, what's the decision to be made on this, right? If you can't see this information, how can you know how many of those you're delivering on time and complete? And this is a difficult algorithm. Like, you have to define what on time means in the system. You also have to define what complete means, because that can get a little wonky in the system. Okay, that's on time complete. It's a good example of a supply chain based report. It covers just that. Burn rate. Another great example, stock based. Yeah, so it's a burn rate. This actually, I think, is mislabeled. This is production control variance. Gotta make a note to correct that. Production control variance is just covering where the order is. So consumed cost, how much of the production order have we consumed, and how much of the percentage-wise of the quantity have we consumed. In this case, 100% consumed cost, 200% consumed quantity. So we'd have to actually, that might be some bad data in the system, because that doesn't sound right, right? How can you do twice the quantity consumption, but only be burning 100% of the cost, right? And like a variation of this report that does something that's, covering the rate of production. All right, so that's production control. What can you use to, like, in terms of decision making for that report? Well, how complete are my production orders? What to do about it on the line? How can I manage the line if I can't see what's going on? We got some finance stuff here with aging and P&L, etc. Procurement reporting that you just saw, and production order actual versus estimates. This is a good report, very helpful. Can show you like the estimated percent complete, estimated cost, etc., and then versus the actual. You can drill into this and see like supporting information for it if it has details. And then details for this is just going to be a drill down into those things and those production order lines and what to do about them. So estimated quantity versus actual, and a percentage over here. So you could sort this column descending, and now you know how your production order is performing. All right, let me jump over again. Let's go pause. And I'm going to queue up some of our portfolio stuff for supply chain. Oh, so exciting. Who's excited so far? You can DM me about it right there on LinkedIn. I'm Joe C. All right, back up. So let's go here and report portfolio. Sales report. So this is a flash report used by a retailer. This is what's possible with our data set. You can start with our data set, and if it's very small, so let me see if I can zoom in here. But you can use these slicers here, right? So per district, is it full price or outbound, or outlet rather, for like retail apparel. And then all of these measures are possible. So you can take our out-of-the-box data set, and then we can design custom measures that just tack on to this, is it full price or outlet, which district, this year's sales, last year's sales, this, as of right now, sales percentage there, planned dollars and percentage. So you can see all of these comparisons, and including traffic that you get from other systems. You can, our system is design is wide open, so you can really bring in data from other systems here, just like traffic, like from Google Analytics or your traffic meter right in the store. So that can tack right onto this data model as needed. All right, that's sales reports. You've seen procurement. We can deep dive into procurement. This is a sales report that's sort of cool. It's like, how quickly am I running out of fruit? And you can see there, it's just a demand requirement versus like what's on hand. How much demand do we have for that versus how much supply do we have? And then you can see very quickly visually, like when are we running out? All right. This is OTCO again. That's such a cool report. On time complete. You saw a little bit of that. Item report. This is just the list of items. This is sometimes helpful just to see what your list of items is. You do this with customers or vendors, but it's your master data printed out with a bunch of these metrics, like whether or not to integrate it, model, series, etc. Very helpful there to drill down on release product variants and all their attending data. You could tack pricing onto those right here. You do first price, like if you're retail, latest price, standard cost, all those things can be tacked onto those reports. Inventory reports, these are the run out rates. Actually, the other one I was looking at was demand requirements. This is where you're running out of the item. And so you could sort of combine the demand requirements we saw earlier to the run out rate, sort of deep dive on, how quickly you're churning your items and running through them. Inventory adjustments. This is just reporting on, who's adjusting out my stuff and why. So you can manage, right? And then inventory reports of on hand as well as transactional reporting. Manufacturing reports, these are all, again, real reports that were really used for something, that were used to manage estimated and realized costs by prod status. And you could sort of drill into like your biggest exceptions here, like what is running over or under the most. And you can do that by a percentage column that you add as a DAX measure on our data model. Again, wide open for you to do that. You can completely customize our system, all using Microsoft Tech. Manufacturing reports, all the production units, production by shift, production trend, production by line, like work cell, production by product code, et cetera, et cetera. And manufacturing reports, you got yield analysis on, how much you're yielding out of like more of like a batch order, usually over like a discrete manufacturing model. So we've done all those things. This is RAF's report as finished status, exploded bomb with levels. This is a very hard report to come by. And then we get into project reports, like project accounting, like the performance of the project, overall project health on billing, open AR, billing so far, et cetera. Booked income, budget versus actuals. This is really helpful because you can see on the project how much has been booked, where are you with budget versus actuals, and so that, again, that you can make decisions on your project. Let's get out of here. Project, production control, purchase, sales, inventory, warehouse. So it's all about plumbing. It's just the start of the process. As soon as you get into, as soon as you get plumbing in place, you're now ready to expand out your solution, add the DAX measures that you need to measure and track your performance. You can tack on other data models to this thing that we have. You can incorporate it in. You can use tools like Databricks and Snowflake to talk to our data model. We can do a thing where we define how this model should go, and you can model it in other tools if you have to, but most of our stuff is just done in Power BI to start. Anything's possible because it's wide open for customization, but what you get to answer your questions where you have to get reports out the door, what you get is a data model, set of reports that people have asked me for 15 years. They've already been through the ringer on how hard it is to get their hands on the data. They've already vetted the data. They've already indicated the columns that they want. They've already taken our data set that we provided and then customized it. So we acknowledge you have a lot of other options in the market to do this reporting thing. I would just like to point out that this option that you have is already tested, proven, tried. You can carry it forward right away. It's $18,000. You can add to it if you want. People who move forward with us in 2025, we're bundling together a 3 to 6 month package of custom hours if you need it. But I'm sure you have questions on this, questions on the tech that's used, everything, the architecture, how does it talk to my system? What if I don't have the tech footprint? How much does that cost? If you were at absolute scratch, our whole solution is like $45K, and it's the biggest like shot in the arm, rapid start that you'll get in the market. Again, fixed price and fixed outcome. Implementing everything all the way across is like 6 weeks with us. Supply chain's larger, so it's 3 weeks. Tech is like 5 days. Finance is like 2 weeks. Workshops. You want to do report factory workshop, it teaches you how to, manage your team, define roles and responsibilities, interview people, build a team. Report factory workshop is all about building a production line that always delivers reports. And next steps with Joe C gives you your perfect backlog development vehicle. All of these things that I'm mentioning are right here on conduitbi.com/pricing. You can go check it out. But you are busy. If you are in the market that I'm speaking to at this moment, you're busy. You're going full tilt just to keep up, and you're trying to get reporting slammed in the before a go live, right at a go live, because you realize you don't have it at post go live where everybody's drowning and doesn't have data, or you're quite past all of that. You have a stable system and you just want to expand. So any of those use cases will work. If you're on AX 2012 and 2009, our system does work with that. So reach out to us. My name is Joe Christensen with Aqueducts. My product is Conduit BI. You've been watching this whole thing on supply chain. Go look at the other recordings that we have on finance from earlier and tech only install. Finance 8,000, tech only install 6,000. This coming Friday, we're going to do Report Factory Workshop with Joe C. And then we'll do Next Steps with Joe C. for your perfect report backlog and your planner for how you're going to execute on all your reports. If you want to buy all those things in December, we will throw in 40 hours of custom reports. And we're also bundling together 3 and 6 month buckets of hours. If you want to commit to that amount, then we're offering a good discount on the rate card. Reach out. We're going to do it together. I really appreciate it, guys. I've worked with this market exclusively, D365 F&O, since 2010 in August when I came in. So I can't wait to talk to you all when you reach out. We've actually gotten a lot of good response out of Summit, and we just have pretty much one slot left in December to go with somebody who wants to go to the whole implementation. And then we're open in January, so open for business January, February, if you guys want to get started. All right, thanks a lot, and reach out to me. You can hit me at joe@aqueductsconsulting.com, joe@conduitbi.com. You can hit me on LinkedIn. I think those are all my contact levels. Or you can just go to our page on pricing and fill this out and move forward. If you want to get to our Summit 2025 offering, I think that we do Summit here, Summit, conduitbi.com/Summit 2025. And all of these things that we're saying are here. You can still sign up, download the one pager, check out all of our offer. This is where we just bundled all this together. Anyway, thank you all. Thank you all. And then we shall see thee very soon. All right. Thanks all.